Well, then, something's not right. Oh yeah, that's... See, I am becoming a good YouTuber. Maybe. So yeah, look, I did a face. Actually, my mother gave me this face, and I wish I could return it. Anyway, I'm going to start off this video by saying that the NYX eyeliners aren't good. They're streaky and kind of sheer, so when I do a wing, I have to fix up the patchy sheer areas, and eventually I just make a... It's not a wing anymore, it's a flipper. Now that's not funny, who cares? Nope, I tried. It's not, it's a failed joke, so... The point of this video is that I used to be a huge Drag Race fan, and I started watching All Stars 7 because of Jinx and Raja and all these past winners because of them. And these days, like 15 Drag Race seasons a year, and who can keep up? It's like bombardment with televised drag, which is a little much. I mean, RuPaul is lining his pockets, and like, good for him. I'm not a fan of him anymore. And this video is about why, another facet, why I just think he's not a good representative of queer and drag culture. So I said that I've been watching All Stars 7, and I've noticed something that really struck a nerve with me. Okay, so runways. You all know runways. They are basically the main part of every episode, and what I've noticed is these... I mean, it's been happening for years and years now, but I've only admittedly now noticed how problematic those jokes during the runway are. Basically, I think it was UK Drag Race UK Season 2 where Joe Black got red for having an H&M dress. So these queens are now expected to have designer, custom-made pieces for the runway, even on main season, not All Stars, so people who are usually struggling, who are queer artists of color often, who are struggling sometimes to make ends meet, who are maybe young, who are maybe even not young and just haven't had the right opportunity, and now they are supposed to have thousands of dollars worth of designer custom pieces when they get cast for this show, which I think the term is classist. And you know, when they do the runways each episode, Michelle Visage and RuPaul and all the other judges start making these jokes, like puns, tired, old puns that have never been funny. And this queer artist who doesn't have the means, who maybe had to work so hard to present this runway outfit, is walking the stage trying to feel proud, trying to feel confident, and then these people are just like making dick, vagina, butthole jokes and that is just incredibly offensive. The jokes are not funny, are extremely rude towards the contestants, are so tired and overdone, and don't belong don't belong on the show anymore. Have never belonged, but now with the Joe Black situation, we especially know that these jokes don't belong on Drag Race. If you were to go to a fashion show, an art gallery, or anything of the sort and start making any type of joke, especially crude sexual jokes, you'd be kicked out. So RuPaul is giving himself and his little friends a lot of privilege for this sort of teenaged behavior. This is something you would expect from teenagers. Like, especially when, with everything that's going on with people of color, queer people, and even women who are still not exactly allowed in Drag Race. Like, yeah, there was one, and there were 2 trans women, but that's looking a bit like tokenism, which is not the point of this video. So marginalized people are coming to this show to absolutely better their lives, and then you have this person who wants to dub themselves the queen of drag queens, the supreme drag queen, whatever, and then he goes with his gang of friends, goes and makes a vagina, butthole, dick, testicle joke. No. These people also claim to be high supporters. I mean, they are high, probably. To be avid supporters of drag, the arts, fashion, style, and then they have this. Usually, it's definitely somebody who's younger than them, usually younger period in their 20s, a lot of the time, and even if not, doesn't matter. This person who has struggled for months, years maybe, to get here to present this article of art, wearable art, and they get basically, I don't know, they just need to stop at these jokes and maybe switch to some sort of commentary. Oh, I like the color, like the this, like the that, blah blah blah, instead of like, pussy, dick, I see a butthole. Not funny. Absolutely not funny. Maybe the first few years it was funny, but now at this point, after 15,000 fucking seasons of Drag Race, no. And it's demeaning, it's dehumanizing, maybe even sexualizing to these young, definitely younger than RuPaul, queer artists who have had, and RuPaul has had these struggles, apparently, allegedly, in the 80s, the 90s, whatever, when he was a young queer artist himself. He completely lost track of his own history, apparently, it seems, and that's just another sad fact of this idiotic runway commentary, jokes, puns that they give. No, I'm sorry. If somebody has spent thousands of dollars trying to get to this runway, to the Olympics of drag, they should be treated with humanity and respect, and not crude sexual jokes from the 1970s or 80s. It's just stupidly offensive. It's, to put it simply, fucking rude. Fucking rude. Because just because RuPaul is a millionaire, he shouldn't have the privilege or the right to put other people down, especially people from his community. And he's the first one who'll be like, "Oh, say love, and we're all one big sisterhood. We should all look out for each other." Blah blah blah. So why aren't you? Why aren't you looking out? Yes, you're giving these people a platform, blah blah blah, but you have also ruined a few careers. Let's not also forget that he has separated the drag community into people who may land on Drag Race and people who are not up to the standard, who don't meet his standard, like drag kings, cis women doing drag, people who have a different gender expression. Why not start casting non-binary people who don't fit the cute Twinkie boy mold? And that's the thing. Well, there's been so many non-binary people on Drag Race who are just cute, who pass for attractive males. I'm sorry I stumbled with my language there. I apologize for that. I'm non-binary myself, and I do fuck up sometimes. So, what else? Yeah, these jokes are just stupidly highly offensive. I've said that. What else? Yeah, there have been trans women, but finally, after so many years, and it's so ridiculous because trans women have built the entire LGBTQ plus community, not just the drag community. They should have been allowed since the first fucking season. Who else? Oh yeah, there's drag monsters, just so many other types of drag that are not shown, not allowed. There's so much more than even if you follow Dragula and Cap Wanakiki. There's so much more that should be shown on Drag Race that just isn't. There are people who call themselves drag aliens, drag monsters, drag things who should be allowed a platform as well. My main point was these stupid, tired, old jokes that they're making, but there's so much to say about Drag Race. I could make 5 videos, 5 long rants, and I just might make a few thousand videos about Drag Race, because I used to be a fan. I got severely disappointed by the show not growing, not evolving with the times, or even catching up to 2008's version of drag. And I'm just sad because from what I've learned following other drag artists online is that basically Drag Race separated the drag community and allowed cis, often heterosexual people the right to go and tell queer drag artists, "Oh, you're not doing drag right, you're not wearing nails, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. Drag Race has said that you need to do this, 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 and this, and that to be a drag queen, so you're not doing this, this, and that correctly, or you're not wearing this, so you're not a drag queen. Because RuPaul told me, Susan from Milwaukee, that is Milwaukee in the USA? I don't fucking care. that you're not doing drag correctly. RuPaul told me, so I have the right to pester and bully you online or in real life because you're not doing drag correctly. You're not. You're not. That was a weird thing. But Susan from Milwaukee, there are so many like her who still to this day are like, you're not doing nails, you're not wearing high heels. Why would I bother with your drag and blah blah. Oh, Susan, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself because your husband probably doesn't want to. Unless you couldn't tell, I'm kind of passionate about these things. So yeah, Drag Race needs to change. And there's also a lot that went on with Queens behind the scenes with RuPaul, and they're probably afraid to speak because now RuPaul's, if not a billionaire, he's big. I'm going to leave that in because I don't care. I'm a human being. I am actually capable of speaking coherently for a long time, so one little doesn't detract from my oral skills. No, I just don't. I don't like the overly polished YouTuber thing. Just be a little more human. And yeah, one day I'm going to maybe learn to edit, or not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think YouTubers need to be a little more human, so we'll see how that idea goes. But anyway, Drag Race needs to do some changes. Drag Race needs to respect its cast, its queens, its performers, because would there be a Drag Race without the contestants? No. No. RuPaul has as much to thank them as they do him. Was that grammatically correct? Let's pretend it is and you understood what I mean. RuPaul has just as much to be grateful to the queens as they do to him. That sounded a bit better, so. They are lining his pockets basically for the past 2008, like 15 years? For a long fucking time by now. So, yeah. I'm going to repeat that those jokes are offensive, dehumanizing, possibly even sexualizing, and just tired, old, overdone, never have been funny, and so on, and they would never pass in any other circumstances. It's just that RuPaul has given himself a bit of a privilege to do whatever he wants because it's his show. That doesn't matter. That's still a human being who maybe has feelings, and these runways should be given respectful commentary, not jokes about genitals and private parts and other things like that. So I think I have said everything I had to say. Although I will repeat that I'm not a fan of RuPaul, I'm not so into Drag Race anymore. I have done drag, I may be returning to drag, we'll see, maybe not. It's a lot of hard work. From personal experience, I know that it's a lot of hard work, so respect drag artists.